Okay, now that we've got the run pretty consistent, we don't have a lot to worry about anymore. We're going to talk about the run and kind of the philosophy through how night mode, Ramza only, is going to work. And we have some small improvements that we'll be able to get through as we're going through. So this should still be another sub 3 hour run. We've got it pretty locked down at this point in time. We might still hit a bunch of golds. It's perfectly okay considering it's streamlining that's just doing its job at that point in time. But we're just gonna get going. Pretty sure the Iron Boulder was the pity when you got it because you'd gotten quite a few epics without it. I know that they do have a pity system you were talking about for when you're trying to get something that you don't already have. So, I mean, it makes sense, especially if you're going for something like Eternatus. Right. Not much to really talk about with this part other than move Ramza forward and start trying to zero out fools. It's the prologue. There's not a whole lot we can do to influence the way that the run's going to go up to this point in time. We just have to hope that the RNG of the game system works in our favor. Yeah, no worries. Appreciate the lurk. I know that you're probably watching by on the other side, so I'll be here. We got about, well, unless I get like the God run, we've got about 2 3/4 going through for this. Oh, we are missing, and she is rending. Not the greatest start. I wish there was something that I could do a little bit more to influence whether or not the guests decide to actually do something useful against the knight, but nothing else. We have Agrius to really shore up our problems for us. Agrius and Gefgarian, though if Gefgarian's the one who's getting the kill, then things have really gone off the rails. Alright, so the first fight that we're going through for real is Garland Magic City. It's just going to be me and Delita, and this is probably the most scuffed fight in the entirety of the run. There'll be fights where we just don't go first, and that's going to cause problems where it's like, oh, we go up against Quecklane, and he just bio-res us before we can even take a move. Nothing we can do about that. This one, we can at least always try to get something off the ground. It's really dependent on where the chemist goes, though. If the chemist goes up that step, we'll be fine. If the chemist stays in line with that first squire that moved, that's going to cause issues. We can try to mitigate that by just standing here and not taking an action. All right, good. Chemist is exactly where we need to be, so as long as we are... All right, we have a little bit of a problem, though. Delita decided instead of going after the squire that was directly in front of us, he wanted to instead hit the squire that was in the water. That has to do with Zodiac compatibility. Which is unfortunate because there's not a whole lot we can really do to stop him from making that decision. The only thing we can hope for at this point in time is that we can turn around and get a couple of moves out of the other squires, get Delita to turn around and heal us here in a second. We will... unfortunate. So we might end up just reloading this entire fight. Delita did heal us, so we're good. And he... Interesting. Yep, okay, so we have an unfortunate situation here, which is the way that the Zodiac compatibility worked. We had a bad setup for Delita to want to actually do something productive, which is why we have to do a full reload. Because if we just went back to the start of the fight, the Zodiac compatibility would have been the same. Also, howdy Bowser, good to see you. We're going to be losing some time on this one, but that's perfectly okay. As long as we have the ability to handle our rerolls this way, it'll be perfectly fine. We'll be able to get into a good position eventually. This is actually my first having to reset this particular fight in probably like 6 attempts. We've been able to one-shot it every time. This is how it's supposed to go. We're supposed to see Delita attack that first Squire. Because we waited rather than acting, we got to go before the chemist came over and healed him. And now we're just gonna wait until we get a few more enemies right next to us. Our goal is whenever Delita attacks something, we want to zero them out immediately after, so that way the chemist can't heal them. That's gonna be our biggest problem. Sometimes Delita can one-shot the female Squire, and sometimes, depending on our compatibility, we can one-shot one of the male Squires. That actually causes a little bit of a problem. We might not have enough JP, but we did just hear the job up sound, which means that we hit the necessary 200 JP that we're looking for in order to get Tailwind. Delita is blocking our ability to hit that guy, so it's gonna take a second. Delita will grab that crystal. Perfect. We don't want an enemy to grab crystals because that allows them to fully heal themselves. We want to be able to do that. We don't want our enemies to be able to do that for obvious reasons. It slows everything down, makes it harder for us to be able to get the kills. And despite taking a restart, this actually isn't that bad of a beginning. We're up a little over a minute, but we'll be able to make up the time pretty consistently. And the way that the run is going, it won't be that hard to be able to make up that minute and then some. The big thing that we have to do now is we have to set ourselves up for success going forward. Since this is a Ramza only run, and there are fights in the game that if you have more than just one party member, you will be forced to use those additional party members, so we have to remove everyone from our roster. Obviously, guests are going to be a little bit different because the system just forces them onto us. Rule set is perfectly fine with us being able to use those guys as we see fit. As long as we aren't the one doing the controlling, then it's all good.
What is it?
We're going to get the most busted ability in the entire game now, Tailwind. That allows us to increase our speed, and in order to make sure that Delita doesn't do too much good work, we're actually going to remove everything from him, all of his equipment, and then we're going to go forward. In this particular battle, we're going to meet our second of our guests that we're going to have for the early game, Argath. Think of Argath as just another Delita, only not as good. He doesn't have as good compatibility with most of the other characters that we'll be seeing in the early game, and he doesn't have as good of a brave value. Oh, actually they may have gotten a bit of a buff this time around. He's at 83 brave, and I believe that Delita is going to be in the like 80, 82 range. So Argath might be good to go. We do have Tailwind, which we're going to be using. We're going to be trying to get to 550 JP for our next two Squire abilities. 81, that's what I thought from Delita. The Squire abilities are going to be a mainstay of the early game while we're getting everything set up. We're going to be, for essentially the first hour of the run, we're focusing on getting all of our necessary jobs and necessary abilities taken care of. In order to do that, we're going to be utilizing Tailwind, and we're going to be utilizing Focus. We're also going to be getting JP Boost, which is a passive ability that increases the amount of JP that we get whenever we take an action. And that's going to allow us to be able to get what we want in a timely manner without getting too much experience. If we get too much experience, it's going to overscale some of the enemies that we're going to be fighting later, particularly Chocobos on the Finnith River, and we're actually going to take an optional fight here on Mandalia Plains later, so that way we can get our time mage grinding taken care of, and that fight gets really scary if we are too high level. Right. As right now, everything's kind of going our way. Argath is doing some work by critically injuring a lot of these Squires, and that thief being critically injured is very helpful as well. We've already got a crystal that's been formed. Hopefully that Squire doesn't go and grab that, but Argath's probably... Oh, nope, now that Squire's absolutely going to grab that crystal. And Argath's going down. Because we don't have Throw Stone, we're not going to be able to intercept and zero out that Squire, but he's only got 30 HP, which is perfectly acceptable. we're about halfway through where we want to be on our JP. We're going to be looking for about 400 total JP in order to get us where we want to go before we start really fighting our enemies. Just gonna move a little bit to make sure that we aren't gonna be targeted by anything except for maybe the cat. Argath being blocked in by the cat is not the worst thing. Well, actually, go over here and we'll start hitting the cat. Argath should be able to help finish up with... Actually, we'll get the final hit. Do we want the final hit? We'll let Argath get the final hit. That's fine. As long as we're not moving, we actually get a bonus to our CT gauge at the start of the next tick for when the game starts trying to say, okay, you're good to start moving again. We want those ticks to be coming as quickly as possible, so that way we can continue with using Tailwind. I actually think I'm going to just boop him. Now, the worst thing that can happen at this point is Argath decides to be a menace and actually continue to fight things for us, so we are going to take him out because we can finish off the rest of those squires on our own. We are getting close to the 550 JP that we're looking for. We'll get a turn before Argath goes again. And because we chose option 1 at the beginning of this fight, we don't lose the battle. These guys will start moving. There's one more move for this squire. We're actually just going to wait right here a couple of times, and now we'll start engaging him. We're going to be slightly over on experience and JP, but that's perfectly fine. Nope, perfect. There we go, we hit the 550 that we were looking for, and it all's good. We want to try to keep it as tight to our goal for JP as possible, so that way we don't have too much additional experience that we're picking up. Does mean that we're going to be towing that line pretty significantly in some of the early fights, specifically this next one that we're going to be doing. That actually does get us into a bit of a sticky widget because we only have 400 JP to work with. So we're only going to be updating our speed until we get around 200 JP for Chemist. And then we'll be focusing to get the rest of it until we get to about 300, 325. And then hopefully by then, Delita and Argath will have fainted. We will not need to worry about them potentially stealing kills from us. And we get the opportunity to clean up. This is what our character is going to look like for a little bit. We're actually going to head over here to Garland and pick up a few things. We're going to get some extra gear. We're going to sell a lot of our extra items and equipment for some early game cash. And then we're going to be buying about 50 potions, and that should be the bulk of our major purchases until we get high potions. There we go. And the reason why we're doing this and getting so many potions is because we're going to be using Auto Potion. While Tailwind is the most busted ability in the entire game, Auto Potion is the reason why this can even occur, like this Ramza only run. Because without it, we don't have a way of healing ourselves very easily, and it causes significant issues when we take too much damage and we'll eventually die, especially in the early game. Once it's a little bit later, we're a bit more durable, we have some more options, we don't have to worry about it as much, but in this early game situation, we really have to be minding our HP levels, because 2 hits and we're typically dead, especially for magic users. That's going to be a problem here in the fight after this one. This fight's going to go very similarly to how the previous one went. Delita and Argath are going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting. We're going to be turning around here and using our Tailwind. Unfortunately, we just hit our 200. The starting JP value for Chemist is not set. It depends on some back-end factors and a little bit of RNG. So unfortunately, we didn't get as much Tailwind in as we would have liked before we hit that 200 point. So we're going to use one more, and now we're going to start focusing. We'll probably focus until we hit 320. Argath is doing good so far. Usually his AI is not the best, and this time it's Delita who's kind of being useless. But the good news is that the last little bit of damage he's going to be able to deal. Oh, we got a crit. Very good. Howdy, Possum. Kylo's a misnomer. You haven't seen Ramza run even once yet. He's using Tailwind. He's being his best flying type. That counts, right? Okay, we're actually going to do one more Tailwind because I don't like the way this works. Just not works, but looks. This is true with hair like that. He should. We're not going to be able to one-shot all of the enemies, but we're going to be able to do significant damage. We're going to get over the 400 JP that we're looking for, but that's not the worst at this point. We're going to boot the cat. There we go. And we stand here. This gives us an opportunity to... That goblin's not going to be able to get that crystal. We can in turn grab it, get ourselves a full heal, so that way we get a little bit of safety out of it. And now we just go about our merry way. As long as we don't get crit, we don't die. About 100 over what we wanted to be, so that's not the worst that could have happened. Realistically, though, we would have wanted to be a little bit tighter on the JP. Either way, though, this is a good thing. We've got our auto potion. We now go over to White Mage. If we do not take Cure, we do not get out of this fight. We're going to unequip that staff. Auto potion is equipped. And now we go. The formation screen doesn't matter for a significant number of the fights because either we just stay exactly where we want to be and then we'll move after the fact because we don't really have much of a risk for where it is that we stand, or the game forces us to move somewhere else due to cutscenes like this one. It's not that big of a concern for throughout most of the game. We just have to stay on top of where our placement's going to be for those unscripted fights. What is a mild concern, though, is how slow Ramza is looking right now. Everyone's going to be going before him. The good news is, though, is that Argath is actually ahead of us where we want to be. That's usually the space we want to stand on, and he has taken that spot from us. It's not that big of a concern because we shouldn't have to worry about the mages sniping us. I did just see one of the mages is a Sagittarius, though. So this is a good time to talk about compatibility in this game. Zodiac compatibility determines the effectiveness of attacks and status effect success rates throughout the game. The Sagittarius that we have on that mage is kind of worrying because if they have Bolt, they're going to be able to one-shot us. And there's honestly kind of a concern about them potentially being able to still zero us out anyways, even with using something like fire, because of the fact that they have best compatibility against us. We're going to preempt any black magic from the wizards over there, the black mages. This is one of the few fights where our goal is to keep Argath and Delita alive as much as possible, as long as possible. The unfortunate part about it is, though, is that them being double targeted and being right next to each other means that Delita is going down. Argath is going to, unfortunately, have a turn before we get the opportunity to. He's going to still potion himself and then move likely in our direction. Yep, there we go. And then we get a cure. Ramza heals himself using auto potion, and this is a good start so far. I'm just fairly concerned about those black mages. This is probably a good time to talk about how the reaction commands work. Our brave value is 72, which that means that we have a 72% chance to have our auto potion hit. It's kind of a bit of a concern, but we still have a better than coin toss chance of being able to cure ourselves for anything that we're doing. We do need to pray that this doesn't one-shot us, though. We get the heal, and then this one we should be okay, and then we get the heal. That's good because we get to heal ourselves after the fact, and we want Argath to stay alive, so we're going to do this. Because of the tailwinds that we've used previously, we should be able to stay on top of not letting our opponents get too many turns before we get the opportunity to react. Black Mage, one should target Ramza, both are targeting Ramza. That's stinky. We're gonna go down here, and okay, we're fine. We are good. They are both unable to cast any more spells, which is exactly what I want to see. We are now at the point where we don't have to worry about anything other than those black mages getting a hold of a crystal. Argath heals himself, so we don't need to do that anymore. He's gonna have outs with that knight, which the knight will out-damage him. Eventually, Argath will go down. He doesn't go faster than the knight does. We only do 8 damage, so now that we are in a good spot, we aren't going to focus on Tailwind, we are instead going to focus on Focus. We want to zero out those mages, so that way if we do see a crystal, that we zero them out before they can pick it up. If they get any additional NP, we are kind of hosed. At this point, actually, we're going to stand exactly where we're at. As long as we don't move, we'll get 2 moves, and we have to worry about... Okay, good. So attacking an enemy from the front is a bit of a liability because they have class evasion. That means that they are capable of picking up additional evasion just from being the class that they are. It's mildly concerning for certain classes because they'll have a minimum of 5% if you're looking straight at them to just avoid whatever it is that you're doing. Good. This is very good. Black Mage is done. All right, it's just us and the knight. At this point, we need to get to 1050 JP. So we're just gonna stand here and we're gonna tailwind for a minute. We have high enough physical attack from using focus that we don't have to worry about our damage output. Maybe, yeah, let's just check. He's at 24. Or we could use a couple of focuses towards the end of our grinding, but the faster we are, the faster we'll be able to get to our 1050 for our JP. And that is the minimum amount of JP that we need because we need to be a level 5 white mage. Might take an extra cure here just to make sure we don't get killed. A crit would have ended us. It's part of the reason why I'm hoping to find crystals and I'm hoping to grab them before the black mages can. Specifically because if we don't use auto potion, we have to have something to back up our survivability. Here is it. And because of the way that the early game will typically go for this fight, we don't really have any recourse other than just hoping we get the 0. All right, 34 JP. All right, we got what we're looking for, and there we go. Boop. We took 1 extra turn, but that's perfectly acceptable. It's not going to cause too many issues with our experience route. Okay, looking good. Now that we are complete with White Mage, we're level 5, we grabbed Holy, we are going to go to Mystic. We're not going to learn anything. We don't need any abilities. We just need to get this to level 4 for the class. This is one of the few story-related battles where we are going to use our formation. We want to be off to this tile so that ways we can kind of force the enemies to go after Delita here in a second. This is a fairly sketch fight. Argath ran straight forward into that door jam. That's a good sign, because that means if Argath goes down, we can actually use his body to block off the door to where the only thing that can hurt us is the archer, or if one of the knights and monks have throw stone. That's the only other thing. Yes, Argath embraced knives to the face. We do like seeing Argath take attacks to the face. Unfortunately, he moved, and Delita didn't get a turn before that monk did. So this is going to be very interesting. This fight is not going the way that it normally does. Usually, Delita's the one who stands in front of that door jam that allows us to be able to get a little bit of extra safety by not having to worry about anyone other than the archer. Argath, however, was the one who did that move, and Delita... Oh? Argath's looking like he might go down here. If he does, then we might make a beeline for that area in a second. The good news is that despite the beginning not going the way that we would particularly like to see it, we're being relatively left alone. We need to get 700 total JP in order to make Mystic level 4 a thing. Once we hit about 400 JP, we'll start using focus. Interesting. So the monk is using rush instead of using physical damage. And the reason why that's interesting is rush is an ability that has a damage variance associated with it. The number that you see on the damage for rush is what's supposed to be the average or the midline damage. The situation is, though, is that it can be plus or minus 50% of that value based off of how the game rolls the damage. Like that. He rolled high, he dealt 36 damage, Delita didn't have a hope and prayer. Typically, a monk's physical damage is higher than what you could get out of most abilities just from a basic attack standpoint. Oh, the archer has potion. That is unfortunate. Howdy, Munson. Welcome in. Notice you're doing a bunch of yelling in the last fight. Are you aiming for a specific speed? Not entirely looking for a specific speed value. What we're more looking for is the safety to be able to just not take damage, and unfortunately we hit a little bit of a problem. We're gonna do a quick reload on this one for our most recent move because Ramza decided not to use auto potion one before that. Okay. Ramza not using auto potion against something that deals more than half of his HP is kind of an issue. I was hoping for the reaction, but it didn't work. So that was a backfire on my end. The pummel of reactions, it is. Since the enemies are kind of converging and we didn't get the opportunity to set up with Argath and the door jam properly, we're just gonna stand here and yell. Or not yell, focus. Let's see what our damage is. 15, not nearly good enough. More focusing is in order. Go there. Our biggest goal is just to make sure we have outs for just taking damage and trying to clear out our enemies. We want the archer to be the only person hitting us. That is not always going to be the situation, though. Like, these monks are going to be able to reach us here in just a second, like that. The biggest issue with Rush is also the fact that you can't use a reaction command against it. And I do not see anyone other than the Archer being able to deal light enough damage for us to be able to heal off of. No one's got Throw Stone. All right, we've hit our 700 JP now, and it's a little scuffed, not gonna lie. We also have a rod equipped. So our physical damage is gonna get hampered because of that. Because I didn't catch that Mystic decided to equip a rod. Alright, if we don't... Okay, we're actually just in critical danger now. We have to do this. Howdy, Palix. Welcome in. Also, welcome in, Kingfisher. Good to see ya. You're on the train. I'm assuming you're talking about the light rail? Thank you. Now we're good. Okay, we're going to have to take this systematically, and we're unfortunately gonna get more XP than we particularly wanted. Ah, you're on the sounder. Fair enough. Looks like the Archer does not have Phoenix down. If they did, we would have absolutely had to make them our focus. Oh god, no. No, 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 no. That is cursed. We definitely don't want any of that. Through the use of our enemies' corpses, oh, and a good crit, we are safe and good to go. Definitely not into that in here. We took 2 retries, and that's not awful for our time. Alright, we're gonna sell a bunch of stuff now, so that way we don't have to worry about the equipment situation.
You wish to remove this equipment and sell it, yes? Are you a pleasure?
Also, we didn't unequip Argath. That explains a lot.
Are you happy because you wish to remove them? You wish to remove.
Nope, we need that.
Are you happy?
And then Argath loses this. Oop.
Are you happy? You wish to remove.
Argath loses his, and then.
Are you happy? May I put it in it? Would that be by all means?
And here is our high potion purchasing.
Are you happy? May I come back?
Oop. One last thing we gotta do.
With me. This is your most. May I be? Don't be a.
Now we go to Black Mage. This is gonna be the spookiest of our grinds because of the way we have to do our pool party. Not your bag either, but not gonna harsh anyone. I get that, but also Scout crank for Ramza only similar to the math speedrun of grinding it to about 22. Are you doing something different? I don't need to go to 22 typically. I just want to get it as fast as possible, and we usually end at around like 24, 26, depending on how much extra experience that we're gonna have to go through. That last fight was critically unfortunate because I didn't realize that we had the rod equipped, so that took significantly longer and more attacks than we were hoping for. So we'll probably be closer to 26, 27 by the end of everything rather than 24 we're looking for. But that's not going to be too big of a problem. Oh, that's an Aquarius. That is unfortunate, and both of them have black magic. So with our compatibility being Gemini, we don't want to see any mages with Aquarius, Libra, or Sagittarius. that one having Aquarius is an issue. We have to bank on Miliuda not pummeling us to death. And we need to pray that we get our auto potions. Typically for this grind, we're going to 2000 JP, so that way we can get everything that we need for Black Mage. That's 52 damage, holy crap. Yeah, if we miss an auto potion off of getting zapped by her, we're just dead. We're gonna have to reload a save if that occurs. And that's not even the one that has the best compatibility with us, which is the one in the back. Maybe we get... She's at 72 faith. What's the other one's faith value at? She pummels. We got a 40. Miliuda can do upwards of 72 damage. Oh, good. 49. Yeah, we're... The funny thing is that the person that I'm most afraid of has the crappier faith value. So... we're not as concerned until we don't heal, and then everything is awful forever. We're looking for Miliuda to low roll and give us a heal. Yep, okay. She's at 41 already. Good, 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 good. We love seeing the white mages using their heals on their allies. That's less MP that's being thrown at us. That was a 2. We're gonna go to about, say, 800 JP before we start using focus. We want to be taking out the enemies as we're going. Mainly because them losing their actions means that we have less of their turns to slow us down. Even though we've only got one person who can actually damage us at a time once that person... That's a reload. If we don't heal against that specific bolt or thunder, that's a problem. I do appreciate her taking out her own friend, though. Oh, really? 2 for 2. I always thought that Rush couldn't proc... Needed to be the second one. I always thought Rush couldn't proc... Oh, it is the second one. But the second one is the one from the previous reload. That's what's going on. We need to go one more down. Yeah, the Brave situation is something I'm trying to figure out a solution to without endlessly grinding. That's something we can more easily solve in the late game once we get Shout. Heal. Can you actually use high potions, please? Okay, so we've hit enough reloads that we're at pre-battle. So the only thing we can hope for is we go to the second one of these, because that gave us a higher HP total. 38 is fine. We can get one of the thieves to hit us. Be okay. She's got one more thunder in her. That's poopy. He's gonna go. He stays there. We go before the one we're worried about. Actually, this might be okay. She leaves us with 2 HP. Thank goodness. All right. We're fine. So this is the awkward part about the pool party, and why I said this is the most scuffed fight that we have to deal with. If we fail too many successive heals, we're just hosed. Yeah, it took a moment, but the game finally cooperated. This is definitely kind of a situation of everything that could go wrong is going wrong, and that's not the worst thing because it does show the outs that we have for this particular run. Heal, thank you. Now we're good. The white mages don't bother us anymore. We literally don't care. That one has like one more thunder in her, but that's not a problem. Yuta stays there. We get 2 turns. Now we can start murking fools. Just have to be careful about Yuta. There's a crystal. He should home in on us. Yep. And we got a low roll on that. We don't want to submerge 2. We'll lose a turn so that way we can grab this, get the heal. Well, we'll start getting some tailwinds in so that way we can kind of make up for a little bit of the time that we lost, getting a little extra speed. As you can see, we've already passed to the point in which we would have gotten a gold, but that's perfectly fine. If we can get out of the pool party, then it's a good run. This was a significant reset when I was doing OG Final Fantasy Tactics Ramza only stuff. The fact that I haven't had to abandon a run in this area is really good. We want our last hit to be the hit that gets us to the 2,000 mark. So I'm gonna take some extra focuses. 46. So yeah, this gets us that 2,000. Even with things as gross as they were, this still saved time. At least the random encounters aren't going to just end us. I do appreciate being able to cancel out of the random encounters. It definitely makes things easier. All right, now for our biggest grind. We need 3,350 JP for Time Mage to buy 3 abilities. Gravity, Immobilize, and Teleport.
Yes?
Alright, job. Oop. Before we do that. Flare, Death, Magic Boost, Change Job. Now we grind time. How long did a Ramza only run on PS1 take? 8 hours and 10 resets, or reloads was my PB.
Right.
It was gross. I hated it.
To battle.
Great quality of life, especially on speedruns. Oh yeah, like I was oh god, this is a 5-pack. No, we are not doing 2 birds. Like this is not happening. We're re-rolling that. I'm actually considering picking up any percent and
Right.
eventually probably 13 stones as well, just because the quality of life is so good. It doesn't take 7 years to do a run now. Can we not get the same pack? So, 2 birds in a 5-pack is the absolute worst thing that we could see. A bird and 2 cats is not great, but it's better than a 5-pack. The reason why we don't want to see 2 birds is because they're fast, they have a crap ton of movement, they will just stick to us no matter what it is that we do. The cats we can at least outrun a little bit. Part of the 8 hours because chapter 1 and chapter 4 are slower. Yep. That is very true. Chapter 1 was just insufferable because of the grind to get to where we need to be. It was also so risky because of just how I had to do the grind. I wasn't able to do it the way that I'm doing it here, where this is the only optional that I'm taking, and that's for teleport. 21. Okay, we're good. If we ended up doing this in OG, I would be doing the entire grind before Dorter, just because it's significantly safer. I want to say that my earliest out from chapter 1 was like 2 hours. And even then, I think that was one of the runs that didn't complete. I just got absolutely rinsed by RNG. We're just gonna stay in the corner because we know what we did. Once we get to about 700 JP here, we're gonna start using focus again. Exact same way that we did it in the previous one, except that this time we're going to be grinding all the way up to 50 speed. We want the Chocobo dead as fast as possible, though. For those of you who've never played Final Fantasy Tactics and don't know how much of a pain in the butt Chocobos are, they have Choco Cure, and they will just restore all the HP for everyone around them forever. That's in addition to them having high speed, them having high mobility, them just being a general nuisance. Everything's only doing 21 damage. I'm not upset about that. I will say, once you reach Orban in Chapter 4, and you're in the last of the rush of the endgame, that is easier than the rush of the endgame here. Yeah, no worries, Palix. Thank you for coming by and saying howdy. Feel free to come back later if you have time. I'm going to be going for another at least 2 hours. Hopefully not more than 2 hours. I would like to get some delicious, delicious time save on this run. This is going to be the most riveting part of the run, just in general. We have to get the 3350 in order to get the 3 abilities from Time Age that we need. Howdy, ECG, welcome in. You're doing Outer Wilds 2 here in a little bit, right? I saw your post. Yeah, we start focusing now. We can do that, and glad to see that you're coming back to it. Well, by coming back to it, I mean streaming. I know that you've been taking an extended hiatus due to school stuff, which good on you for making sure that you're getting your priorities aligned properly. A lot of people would try to do too much. We do a little Chocobo punching. I think we're gonna do that. What are we at? 77 and an 85 up front. Yeah, we're gonna focus again. Oh, absolutely. Actually, we're gonna do this. We're not gonna fully box ourselves in. I want the goblin to hit me in the side. What's the goal today? We're gonna keep with a sub 3 as our goal, but the biggest thing is that we're talking about the run and why we do the things that we do today. Boop! Hey, hit with 77. Because realistically, we want to be able to make sure that anyone who sees this run is going to understand what's happening. Like, we have to get to 3,300 to get the necessary abilities to be able to ensure our survival throughout the late game. Part of the reason why we grind the way that we do in this fight is to make sure that we can one-shot the monsters. If we can one-shot the monsters, we only have one left. The enemy takes less turns, which means that we aren't slowed down just from the game doing its thing. A little bit, yeah. It's one of those things where it's very difficult to do like a video tutorial for something like this, except for all the quality of life improvements that came out with the Ivalice Chronicles, made it to where runs like this don't take 8 hours anymore. Even under the worst of circumstances, the autosave function allows you to be able to rebound pretty easily. Like, we had an absolutely scuffed pool party split where we failed 3 auto potions in a row, which ate all of our autosaves. That gave us the ability to do some safety resetting. But we were able to make it work still, even under the scuffed situation. So the run kept going forward. We were able to make it work. And here we are, about ready to get to unlocking our primary class for the remainder of the run, which is Arithmetician, also known as Calculator, also known as the most OP class in the game. Our goal, like we have been doing in the past, is just before we get to our ideal JP value, we are going to stop our grinding, walk up to the monster, and boop it in the snoot, just to get the last little bit of JP. By moving one tile at a time, we are going to make sure that we don't get too far away from them. Currently at 58 JP for each action. We'll be winding up this grind here in just a second. Boop. There we go. For those who come after. Exactly. Man, I can't wait to start seeing more Expedition 33 runs. One got accepted to GDQ. I'm super hyped to be able to see that live. Gravity, Immobilize, Teleport, Arithmetician, Change Job. We are putting on Teleport, and now we are going to do one of the, like, this is not hard. This is stressful. This is a stressful fight, not a hard fight. The reason being is, Arithmetician is the slowest class in the entire game. That's kind of how they balanced the class, is they wanted you to not be able to just have all of your cake and eat it too. They wanted you to have some sort of drawback, so they floored your speed. We are not going to be able to take a turn for quite some time. The JP value that we're looking for is 2250. That lets us learn all the action commands for Arithmetician. That's all we care about. We also don't have any regular potions, so Delita is on his own, which is a problem. The good news is that Black Mage is going to solve that problem for us right here. And we've been hit by slow, and we didn't get healed. All right, we're gonna do something risky here. We're going to take our position. There's our 54. Okay, we're good. We got crit, but we healed through it. No worries. You shall lurk to avoid spoilers. Enjoy. No worries, ECG. Appreciate you sticking around and enjoy Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2, not Wilds. Outer Worlds 2. That's poopy. And we're good. Like, this is the reason why this run is significantly concerning, is just because we're going to eat literally everything that they throw at us just from the fact that we don't have any speed. Once we get 3 tailwinds on, we'll be able to start moving around a little bit more easily. By then, all of the mages will have no MP. They're already getting to that point as it is. Failed to rend. Love seeing the failed to rend. So this is Tailwind 2. We are no longer slowed. Whoop. We didn't get a heal, but that's okay. We can be -9 net HP without any issues. Mainly because Miluda will be using Aura Blast on us and only dealing 12 damage. This is almost free. Like, it really is almost free. It's just stressful. Just because you have to bank on hitting at least 1 heal every 2 attacks that you receive. Even with best compatibility and level 2 spells, those we're gonna wait to start moving until after we get a 4th Tailwind. The black mages should never be able to really get you terribly close to getting 1 shot. Especially since this fight doesn't have rain. This fight had rain. It would be a little bit worse for us simply because the game gives a damage boost to electric spells during the rain. There's a pummel. We don't care. All right. Have you encountered Miluda with Speed Break? I have not. Thank goodness for that. Like, that would be the most insufferable thing ever. It wouldn't be critically awful because the amount of time that she gets on top of us is fairly low. Usually it's the other knights that we have to worry about, not her, because she's content to Aura Blast away. And usually if she has an equipment break, she'll prioritize that over anything else. But this is our next phase of doing our lovely grinding. Now that we have enough Tailwind to be able to get us to be able to take successive turns once we are no longer slowed, we're just gonna stand right here, wait for everyone to group up like this, and then we teleport down into the water below. This lets us just ignore 90% of the threats because all the mages don't have MP anymore. The knights will have to take 2 turns to be able to reach us in the water in the first place, so we don't have to worry about that. Miluda only does 12 damage to us, so she's not a threat. Once we get to around 1,000 JP, that's when I'm going to start using focus. Imagine arithmeticians being incredibly physically weak. Yet another way that they're attempting to balance this particular class of absolute ungodly power. I will say, every time that I see something with throw stone in fights such as this, it definitely makes me feel better, because that means I get a free out for whenever I don't get a heal. Throwstone is such a lifesaver in these kinds of early game grinds. If you see something that you're really like wringing your collar about a little bit because you might not be able to survive 2 hits, seeing Throwstone lets you take riskier resets, or that lack thereof. You don't have to reset your autosave as much. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we'll be able to outrun most everything. Miluda shouldn't be able to be that much of a nuisance here in a second. Yep, we can absolutely outrun her now, so we never have to worry about whether or not we'll be able to stay out of Aura Blast range. We're gonna continue to take greedy 5-step teleports though. The reason why it's greedy is for every tile that you attempt to move outside of your movement range with teleport, you have a 10% chance of failure. During my last attempt, I failed a 10% failure chance 3 times in a row on Bethel Garrison's Sluice, and it wasn't great. There was no risk because that fight is so significantly easy. I don't have to worry about it. What are we at? 70? Boop! All right, now we start zeroing out mages. We can take a hit from that knight. I don't care. This will reduce the amount of turns that the enemy takes, which increases the amount of turns we'll be able to take without having to worry about them interrupting us. We can take a couple swings. There we go. All right, so we're at 70 on a knight. We'll need a handful of focuses. There's a handful of focuses. Milyuta goes again before we do. It'll be Aura Blast range, but that's okay. Okay, now we don't have to worry about anything other than getting to the 2250. We will outspeed Milyuta until the cows come home. This fight is now effectively free. She can Aura Blast us all she wants. I'm not going to worry about her. One, two, three, four. She can reach us, and she can attack down at us from that height. You can attack down up to 3 height tiles. So we're just gonna lure her over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna do one more focus just to make sure, and then boop. We're good. So that is the first phase of the run complete. We have done all of our setup. Everything is good to go. We are in prime math time. Here's our new setup. We take everything. What happened? Oh, it's 2550.
For house.
Okay, so we can easily fix this because we still have a save. Not 2250, it's 2550. Right there. So we're just gonna undo that one. This is why the auto save system is such a godsend. If you make a mistake, you can fix it. Okay, break my stuff, see if I care. We do one more. Now we boot. I have a typo in my notes that I need to correct now. Yeah. With the way that the auto system works, there's almost no risk of one of these runs just straight up failing. The question just becomes, will you get the God run where you have the perfect RNG and you never have to take a single reset? That's really what it comes down to. There we go. Perfect. Now we go over here. Black magic, arithmetic. We don't do JP boost, we go magic boost. And struggle with hitting a node. Now, the rest of the run is going to be fairly okay.
It's time.
Ramza gets upbeats and he moves into the corner because he knows what he did. Height 5, holy, go. We spinny, 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 boom, and we're good. That is the entire reason why we do this grind in the way that we do it, so that way we can get access to Holy, Flare, Death, and a handful of other spells. Be able to make fights like this literally single action fights. There'll be a fair number of single action fights that we will have coming up. There will also still be fights that are not going to be free because they are not single action fights. There's also fights that we will not be able to guarantee first turn resolution because enemies with insta-kill abilities that we have no protection for will be going before us. Looking at you, Quecklane. For that particular fight, we'll get into it a little bit more, but at this point in time, we are not necessarily on autopilot because we still have to pay attention to quite a fair few things, namely making sure that we're hitting our fast forwards appropriately, making sure we're using the right ability, and making sure that we're using the right math. If we do it properly, that's as easy as the fight gets. If we don't do it properly, we have to improvise. There will be some fights that we are going to have to improvise regardless because they just take more than one action and are filled with random units. We can actually talk about the random unit situation here in a second because we'll be going into a fight with random units. Hardest part of this run coming up here in just a second. It's making sure to not recruit the 3 randos that we're going to be picking up here in a second. 07's in chat for Rad, Lavian, and Alicia. Also, 07's for me remembering to skip that cutscene. Which is funny because I forgot to skip that cutscene during the first sub 3-hour run that I did. It's good to see I'm consistent about that.
So be it.
What was the theory behind the choice of Zodiacs for Ramza? I want to nuke Elmdor's assassin 100% of the time, regardless of the amount of magic attack stat I have. That is 100% my prime motivator. Letty is a menace, and I need her to not exist as quickly as possible. To be fair, both of the assassins that Elmdor totes around are menaces, but Letty, we get to one-shot. In both of the fights that zeroing out one of them just resolves it instantly. It also prevents us from having to rely on just over-kitting to make sure that we don't have issues against them because of all the status effects that they can use. Alright, CT3, we'll flare this time. Most of the time, when a unit goes before you, they will not be hit with CT3 magic from Arithmetician. 3, 4, we're gonna do level prime flare. Anyone who doesn't go... That hits myself. Alright, this is an example of improvisation. CT... We're gonna wait. XP 3. There we go. So when we use CT3, anyone that doesn't go before us is likely to be hit by it. Anyone who goes after us, we're going to have to improvise. That's not the worst thing. The problem is that when those fights include randos, their level, their experience, and their Zodiac compatibility are randomized. Alright, let's say hi to Boko now. Ramza gets uppies because we want him to stand right there.
No turning back.
Alright, we are choosing the second option because that gives us the most brave, and we can height, prime, flare, and blow up everything that's not Boko. The only risk that we really have is if some weird shenanigans involving Zodiac compatibility occurs and a goblin lives, but that is incredibly unlikely. Like, we would have to have literal worst compatibility. All right, everyone, say goodbye to Boko. Boko gets to live a happy life by not being with us. It should be impossible. It should be, but I've said similar things about other aspects of this run where I'm just like, what? And yeah, I've been proven wrong on a couple occasions by the game, because the game likes to prove me wrong, because it is a tactical JRPG with RNG out the wazoo.
Right. Time to earn my keep.
But yeah, even a Sagittarius monster should be one-shot by... should be one-shot by Flare, and I could just use Holy if it's really that big of a consideration. We're going to CT3 Death. We don't have to worry about Ovelia getting hit by death, even though she's in CT3 range, because she is a flag called Immortal, which means she is completely immune to death, petrification, and a handful of other things. So we can just say, oh, CT3, yep, we're doing the thing. Perfectly fine. I just need her to not die right now. All right, Gaff's down, and Delita is useless. All right, so we can't height 5 because Ovelia is there unless we want to try to death, which I really don't want to do. It's 5, level 3, and level 4, XP. We're gonna do this. We did the notes for glitchless math, another runner, and you did some research and went with Flare because it nuked everything except a limited number of low fates. Your setup has an additional MA point, so I am perfectly fine then, it sounds like. Also, thank you for helping double check my math. Also, I don't care if I explode because I have friends. That is a tactic that I enjoy doing, but I never get to do very often. I've done it notably in the Agrius fight and the Alma fight. At least one MA point, possibly two.
Let us not delay.
I think with the extra mystic levels that I took in this particular instance, it probably is at least one, right? I mean, the good news is that we're getting Ovelia's equipment right now, so it's not going to be too much of a concern. Ovelia has the wizard hat and the wizard robe, which we love to see.
Yes.
We equip those immediately, because they give us additional magic power. And then we go say hi to our boy Mustadio. I'm super happy that I don't have to worry about him anymore. Like, Mustadio goes, then we go, so we can CT3 and obliterate the opponents. It's to the point where I feel perfectly comfortable saying we can go save him for the extra brave value. Now, I have gotten into some problems with this particular fight in the past with cloak evasion and with shields, so we're going to use Holy because Holy completely ignores evasion. It guarantees that Mustadio is 100% safe 100% of the time, and we get through this pretty quickly. It's not as fast as Flare, but honestly, I'd rather take the consistency than having to worry about whether or not he's going to get sniped in the head, fall off the the top of the perch there and get one shot because of the fall damage. And we are doing pretty okay. As long as I can remember my cues for skipping the cutscenes. This is a fight that previously I was having some issues with under my previous
At the ready.
my previous stats, because we weren't able to get everyone with CT3. Now the setup is done for us at this point, so we can CT3, and I'm gonna holy again because I don't trust knights, I don't trust summoners, I want everything to die. There's two instances why we would choose holy over flare: a risk of evasion and the extra damage, because holy deals more damage than flare does. Sometimes, depending on what our MA stat is, it's mildly negligible, but it's still a consideration. There we go. I will never not call this next area Ivalice Swamp, by the way. Ivalice Swamp is kind of interesting because of the random monsters that can show up there. If we get a pig as the random monster and not a Flottaball, it will be to our level and it will go before we do. So we'll have to do CT3 plus another action. Anything else is not going to have that risk though.
To battle.
We got the Flottaball, so we should go Mustadio, then us, and then we CT3. We CT3 flare, and everything's good. Boop. And that's all she wrote. Love the gold. Previously I was using holy on that fight because I was neurotic and didn't trust anything. Now I'm using flare because I'm smarter and more confident. Also, I hate this fight coming up because I have to pay attention to the thieves. The thieves will go before us, so we can't CT3 them into oblivion. We have to pay attention to their height value, their level, and their experience. And we also have to use holy because the lower archer specifically continues to evade flare every time that I use flare in this fight. And it is monumentally frustrating. So we just use holy and we forget about it. And Mustadio's a 3-4, Timothy's a 3-5. And Gwaine is prime. CT3 holy go. We got a prime and a 3-5. I'm a 3 and a 5. That's unfortunate. Thank you. Alright, level prime, holy go. $74. It's not a 3. That's not a prime. What are you? CT 4-5. My times tables are betraying me. We're gonna wait. That's CT prime. Yep. Typically when you get into a situation where you need to manufacture a good math equation to nuke someone, standing still and doing nothing is a pretty good option. All right, I have not had an incident in this next fight since I've started running this. But holy butts, this singular fight has caused me more consternation than any other fight in the OG runs that I was doing. The 8-hour run that I did lost 45 minutes to Agrius just wanting to die in this fight. Oop. There we go. All right.
Greetings.
Yeah, I would appreciate assistance. If there's a better way for me to do something, I'm all for it. We're going to go buy. I'm gonna pick up a green beret. I'm gonna pick up a protect ring. Thank you, Thav. Direct cast flare on the thief, and if the calc does not work, ooh, is that gonna work for both of them?
No turning back.
Oh, if I have one left over. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying now. You are absolutely correct. Elevation 3. Boom. No, it took me a minute to connect the dots, and yes, that would have actually definitely saved a little bit of time there, rather than me trying to math in my brain. Ooh, nice crit. Do we get the block? We do not get the block. Do we get the block? We don't get the block, she's dead. Oh, she's not dead. Okay. You're not on a 3. You're on a 3. You're not on a 3. Level 5. Level 5. Wow, making this easy for me. Oh. I love blowing myself up to take my enemies with me. My favorite thing. All right, we are recruiting Agrius because we want something that she has. She has a diamond bangle. We want that. Diamond bangle, diamond armlet, diamond bracelet. Some out of all of that.
What is it?
Goodbye.
I've sworn.
We are stealing that. And then before I forget, this is where we go to Squire.
Right then.
We keep the gold shield, we put on the wizard hat, we put back on the wizard robe, the diamond bracelet is there. This is another fight where we're gonna CT3 Holy, because there are knights everywhere.
It's time.
So Kingfisher, I take it that you are also a speedrunner of Final Fantasy Tactics? I say also as though I haven't even submitted anything to the leaderboard yet. I'm just doing this dumb challenge to try to go as fast as possible until I feel confident enough to do it and do an actual run. I saw a level 16 on the Archer. Yes, you mod the leaderboard? Oh, right on! Well, happy to have you. I know I said happy to have you earlier, but yeah, no, I appreciate you stopping by and saying howdy, and also giving me a hand. That's 18. All right, so we got a 3 and a 4. We go 4. We're gonna do that. We also have the glitchless PS1 world record for a time. Heck yeah! That's awesome. All right. This is the one problem that I have, is now that I'm trying to get Damn it, Gafgarian. Now that I'm trying to get Squire earlier, so that way I can get that stat increase going. 64. I'm actually kind of in a bad place now. There we go. XP4 is perfectly fine. Off we go. I'm significantly happier at the fact that Rio Vane's castle is going to be a little bit easier. 42 seconds to PB has been lost. Oh no, whatever will I do? Okay, we're going to be running into Rio Vane's 1. This is pretty simple. We height for Holy, and then we pay attention to what the Archer does. The Archer is going to move into a different elevation. We're likely just going to focus on its level, as long as it's not level 3. Exclusively level 3. Gaff walks up, gives us a hit. We don't care. Level Prime. Alright. Height for Holy Goat, and then we level Prime after. Goodbye, Gafgarian. Level Prime. Boop. Now, the problem fight of this chapter. We're going to be putting on the Protect Ring because we need to protect ourselves against Sleep and Doom. Doom, not so much because the fight doesn't last long enough for us to really have to worry about it, but Sleep is definitely a run-ender. Speaking of run-enders, Quick Lane has a spell called Biora. Biora has a % chance to inflict us with petrification. We do not get any response to this. He goes before us. What we want to see is him walk down, and that's new. Huh. Math level Prime, not Prime 4. He is full of tricks. We need this stone to not petrify us. Standard bio is perfectly fine. That's a height 5. Height 5, Holy Goat. And we got out. I get to this fight, now that I recognize how scuffed it could be, new things are getting thrown at me by him. I've never been disabled by him before, and that's kind of wild. At least he's not just opening Biora. Ideally, he just walks forward and karate chops us. We get a high potion heal, and then we carry on. Speaking of carrying on, grab the wing boots, grab the mage power gloves,
Will that be all? Don't be a...
equip the mage power gloves, and then we're gonna go say hi to Orin. I said say hi to Orin, not say hi to the desert. We need to worry about our positioning a little bit because there are thieves around here who might have Steel Heart. If they have Steel Heart, that's really bad because that causes us to target Orin, and we don't want that because that kills the run. Well, kills the instance of the attempt. Throwstone is good. Height Prime. Looking like we might be doing some Height Prime action. Not thrilled at the chemists doing things right now, though. Do we... Celestial Stasis is gonna pop. I think we just Hype Prime and... yeah. Hope that Celestial Stasis does its job. Well, that's great. Height 3? Height 3. Yep. Not the worst Golan Coal City. Level 3? That hits Orin. XP 3, 4. XP 3. Boop! Alright. I've had significantly worse Golans before, but here we are. Any Golan you can walk away from and not have to worry about Orin dying. Dalmo time!
At the ready.
Dalmo's gonna be easy, level 4 Holy Explode. As long as he dies, and Alma doesn't, everything's fine. We might be able to get away with Flare, actually. Oh, no, but he has a mantle. I shouldn't. That's why I want to use Holy. Level 4 Holy go. Boop. Yeah, the damage is definitely not a problem with Zalmo. The hit percent is the problem with Zalmo. We're gonna pick up a couple of things now. We're gonna pick up an Aegis Shield. We're gonna pick up an Ice Shield.
Let's be on our way.
Shouldn't have to worry about our Heart Potion count. We shouldn't really be getting hit until we get out of Yardo.
In particular.
Ice. Aegis.
May I be of further?
What yeah, we're fine.
Yes?
Put on the Aegis. Good Orban. We get a free beret out of it. Sorry, not beret, barrette. That barrette is absolutely game-changing and part of the reason why this is significantly easier in the back half than it is in the front half when compared to OG, because Ramza can now equip barrettes, which prevent him from getting hit by every insta-kill in the entire game.
At the ready.
All right, so we're gonna move to height 11 and then immediately use height 3 Holy on these enemies. Even if we take a little damage, it's all good. We'll need to take a look at the Time Mages though. That's level prime, XP prime. XP Prime. Yeah, we'll flare. There we go. Love a good 2-turn. Sometimes we don't get lucky with the level or experience values. We give no hex about Iswood because we have a way of dealing with him. We get ourselves on this tile and wait for him to move.
No turning back.
He will either be on height 3 or he will be on height prime. Lately he has been going to a height 9. We just height 3 holy him and he goes away. Yep, just like we wrote it up. And out we go. Here's our Guardian Bracelet. We're going to be using that a little bit later. Alright, now we go to Weegraph 2. We are going to jump back over here, and then we're going to be using height 5 holy twice. We do not one-shot him anymore, unfortunately. Very interesting that he didn't do anything. Usually he walks up, lightning stabs us, and then calls it a day. I guess we do a height prime. Height prime, holy go. And now for the best quality of life improvement in the entire game. We do not have to hear the sound of the Ares stone ringing in our ears through the entirety of the cutscene. Now for the one cutscene we have that we're not going to be able to skip until we get to chapter 4. We can't skip it because we have a choicer there. Oh boy. Grog Hill. I am not a fan of this fight. Not a fan of this fight at all because it is a bunch of randos on a bunch of weird elevations that the last time I was here, they had a bunch of, not only the chemists, but 2 other units also had Phoenix down. What's gonna happen? There's 1 prime and a 4. Another prime. We get lucky and get the other chemist on a prime. Okay, we are height priming. We're gonna holy. I don't trust them, especially with that one having defensive stance. Come on, big bucks, no whammies, no Phoenix downs. Yes, okay, and we get to height prime again. Easiest Grog Hill of my life. Will never be a Grog Hill as easy as this one ever again. Okay, Yardow. Theoretically, unless someone crits, this should be free.
It's
We
time.
just CT3 Holy and everyone explodes. Rafa got out of the way and only took one hit. Not bad. Alright, we're gonna be doing a bunch of purchasing here now. That was a 5-second. Interesting. Okay.
Let us go.
Felt as consistent as the last time that I did that, so I'm curious about that.
By all means.
All right, we've already got the green beret. We are getting a chameleon robe. We are buying all the X potions.
May I put
We
it
are
yourself?
selling all of the
Are you
high
happy?
potions. Oh, there is one other purchase we need to make. We need to buy the Hermes shoes. And we are also going to equip the chameleon robe now. Because the Yugwood is gross. More than anything else, I want this fight to go away because it is just hideous. The heights are weird. Everything goes before me. Like, being able to just CT4, CT5 Holy and obliterate anything and everything that we can is definitely a benefit. This fight has stolen pieces of my soul with how scuffed it gets. CT5 Holy looks good. Funny thing is, we probably would have gotten the one turn if that ghost didn't get hasted. Oh no! Alright, level 3. Level 3, holy go. Boom. And we're done. That is an improvement that I have done for the routing on this. I used to not walk into here with a chameleon robe, but now I have the chameleon robe. We're not going to be wearing it for this next fight, though. We're going to go back to our wizard robe. Get on it. Thank you. Yep. Push the right button. Previously, we were able to one-shot more or less everyone in this fight. The unfortunate part about it is with the changes to the XP routing, that doesn't happen anymore. So we're gonna have to take a couple of extra turns, and that's perfectly fine. It's not the worst thing ever. We just have to make sure that we zero out Rafa specifically to get rid of Malak. Ooh, that knight decided to be a helper and stayed on height 5. The last time that we were here, he jumped up to height 6 and caused a little bit of a kerfuffle. Alright, height prime holy go. Rafa goes down, which means that Malak is going to disappear in this fight as well. We got all the spinny booms done. You are height 3, holy go. That's the one that we usually don't get. Yep. couldn't remember if that was height 2 or not, so I had to double check. All in all, though, that was not bad for the Rio Veins 1. Now the problem. The problem that we have is Ivalice. I'm going to continue to call him Ivalice, because Belius the Gigas is not my friend, so I do not respect him enough to call him by his name. Alright, we use the barrette to stop us from being petrified. We use the chameleon robe to not be hit by any of the sword skills. We use the wing boots, that way we don't get hit by shockwave. And we are getting 25 speed.
To battle.
We're getting a minimum of 25 speed, because we need to make sure that we do not get hit by Cyclops with our HP value the way that it is. Cyclops will one-shot us. So we are dealing with Weegraph the way that we have to, which is unfortunately just doing a lot of Tailwind. All right, that should be us at speed 8. Yep. I need to get the correct muscle memory going. 9. 10. Oh, that's a problem. Oh, that's a bigger problem.
Come on.
11. That's not 11. That is 11. What was I thinking? 12. Now we're fine. Wrong muscle memory. 13. 14. 15. Can I get a heal? Wrong button. 16. Alright, well, we do a reload. We'll actually go back a little bit. Double check my speed value. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. There we go. 20. 21. 2. 23. 24. Ramza. Math level 3 holy. Level XP 3 holy. There we go. Alright, we're gonna use Tailwind one more time because we want to zero at Weegraph when it's the first of our turns in a sequence. That ways we can ensure that we have as many turns as possible against Ivalice as possible. Math. Elevation 3 holy. Go. This also helps us with being able to make sure that we're at full health, just in case we didn't get the heal. And now it's Space Goat time. This is also going to be a first use of gravity here in a second. Height 3 flare to begin though, so that way we can get rid of the demons. Alright, 3 for 3, that's what we wanted. Height 3 gravity. Gravity is going to be our damaging spell of choice against the Zodiac monsters going forward, because the amount of health that they have outstrips our damage capacity for them, and they are not immune to gravity magic. Height 5 gravity. And we missed. Down we go. Easy money. You just needed to make sure that we were fast enough to not get Cyclopsed to death. Now we have to make sure that we put on the correct equipment again. Alright, as long as we go first, nothing else matters. So here's our green beret, here is our Hermes shoes, and here is our wizard robe. If we do not go first, we die. We lose. We cannot continue without relying on RNGesus to do all of our survival for us.
It's time.
And we don't like RNGesus doing our jobs for us, now do we, chat? Last time we had to have RNGesus save our hide, it took 8 minutes to get out of this fight. That is why I will never, ever, ever, ever in a million years forget to buy the green beret and the Hermes shoes. They are required for this fight, so we can nuke her. Letty, the one in the actual pink. You go bed. Skip a bunch of cutscenes. Make sure we don't recruit either of them.
If that is your wish.
That is a shame.
All right, out we go. We get our new class after we get done doing a couple of cutscenes. I'm going to make a couple of changes to our equipment, getting back to where it needs to be, but we're also going to do something that I didn't do previously, because previously I did not go out of my way to learn Shout. We're learning Shout as a safety thing at this point. In case of emergency, break glass and start shouting. That's good, that's good. Mage gloves. And now we can go about our business. We're gonna move over here. This should keep the enemies on a height prime tile for us to be able to ensure that we can continue to holy them into oblivion. For some reason, CT3 does not work on this fight. And I'm not entirely sure why. That's poopy. Oh, we get another height prime holy at least. Problem is that this doesn't guarantee. What's my speed? I think it's 8 now. fairly certain it's 8 now. We don't care, we just go forward.
No turning back.
I keep treating everything like it's a cutscene that I can skip, and I need to stop doing that. Alright, we height 4. That's 8. 4, thank you. Oh, I forgot to split. Uh-oh. I pushed the wrong split button. There we go. There's our Jade Armlet that we need. That is definitely not correct, but that's fine. Alright. Formation doesn't matter for this one. It's going to put us on whatever tile it wants us to be on in the middle of that area, which is gross. There's... Oh my god. None of them are standard. Oh no. Well, this is gonna be fun. Oh, hit the black chocobo, but that's not gonna be great. Yep. This was almost an incident. Level 3, level 3, XP4, XP4. To get CT3 to work, Ramza would need to be 9. Got it. And it's not the worst thing, we just take an extra turn. Alright, are we ready for some Height Prime Zalmo action? It is so satisfying nuking Delita alongside Zalmo in this fight. Alright, we gotta go to Bethla. Now I need to remember to put on Ice Shield and the Protect Armlet. Because Barrack is not kind. No, we do not take that fight under any circumstance, ever. That formation doesn't matter.
It's time.
We're gonna level 5 Holy unless some weird stuff starts happening. We're not level 5, so it shouldn't be a problem. Level 5 Holy, boop. The number of times I've nuked myself by using Height Prime instead without moving is hilarious. That's a aim 7 coming straight for me. What the heck? Not that it mattered. There we go. All right, Kingfisher, I have a question for you. Which is better, Bethla North or Bethla South? Because I've been going north and have been having moderate success with north. North because of no ninjas? That's what I thought. Like, the ninjas and the thieves are the reason why north is the way I've been going. Height, prime, fully go. Alright, so that's our first turn. Second turn, we're gonna do... I believe it's height 3? I might have to do prime again. Ooh. He doesn't usually have shockwave. Also, they're not cooperating. Doing Summoner Challenge, you found the other to be better because you can pace out how the enemies hit. Really? That's interesting. I'm getting jumped. That's nifty. All right. We're gonna go do one of these. We're gonna do the height 4 this time. This is getting mildly concerning. Or aren't you? Nope, you're on a 3. That's fine. He should run away. Summoner's dead. Man, they are not cooperating. At least we get a high prime. Oh my goodness, literally everyone. Okay, yeah. Not complaining anymore. I need to spend more time in the lab just trying to figure out the best way to handle that particular fight, because holy butts does that get gross sometimes. Oh, we don't do anything different for... Ah, I realize I made a small mistake there, because I didn't change this back. And mage. Actually, no, this is the one that I don't want. I put a special note. I want the red shoes for this one. I want the red shoes for this one specifically because of the movement. One, two, three, four, 5. Height, prime, holy... Oh, nope. I blew myself up. I'm never standing on this spot. And Yep. That's 100% a me problem. I'm not used to standing on this spot. As I was trying to evade the, knight. So let's do this again. Again, thank goodness for autosave. No mistake is so egregious that you can't recover from it. Alright, good. We didn't get hit by the Ice Brand's secondary effect. So this is how we don't care anymore. This is the entire reason why I'm wearing the red shoes now. If I wasn't wearing the red shoes, this movement wouldn't be guaranteed. Alright, we recruit, then we boot. Because we want Orlando's gear, specifically the Excalibur, that thing that I continue to think that I have before I have it. Next few fights are going to be relatively simple. Don't have to worry too much about them.
Long ago.
Wrong button, right button.
What?
Do it again.
What?
What?
Was there something?
And then mage power. We have to go make a flower girl cry. I find it entertaining that we don't even have Mustadio in our party, and it's still like, you're gonna miss out on a side quest. I can't even do the side quest.
Forward.
Alright, all this should just be CT3. I know for a fact the archers love screwing with me when I don't use Holy. They enjoy that particular brand of schadenfreude that comes with me missing the flare. Oh, we got a couple of thieves that lived. That's unfortunate. Level Prime, level 3, level Prime. At least there's no risk on this fight. We'll just lose 15 seconds total. 16. It's unfortunate that we didn't zero them all out. We usually do. This fight, we absolutely can zero everything out because we just use Holy. Oop.
Forward.
We seem to be having some completion issues today, Ramza. Alright, here we go. I don't need to make any equipment changes. Not initially.
No turning back.
Next fight. This is the one where we're gonna have to start changing our equipment.
Very well.
Get the barrette on. Here we go. This will keep Ramza out of Ultima range. Well, it'll help me get Ramza out of Ultima range. Level Prime Holy. Go. No, I might be able to get away with Flare on this because I just remember the Genji shield doesn't have any magic evasion, does it? Howdy Petrie, welcome in. Thank you very much for this 3 stream streak. Okay, we keep the barrette on, we turn on the crystal mail, we put on the Hermes shoes. We're going to be needing to make some purchases on our way to Igros.
It's time.
Time for a lot of gravity. Elevation 5 gravity. No, it's not 5, it's 3. No, it's prime because I'm not reading my notes and I'm messing my stuff up. Now it's 5. We took a couple of deaths to this the last time because of some flare-ja shenanigans. Any heals? Now we're at height 5. Here's 2. Yeah, Doom doesn't matter because we have the barrette on. Height 5, grab it again. One more. All we gotta do is do it one more time. See Flare-jing. He is... Please hit the X potion. Thank you. We get out of here alive. Height. Boop. And out we go. We have to buy Reflect Mail from Limberry and a Lambent hat from Garland. None of that. None of that either.
Greetings. All catch your eye.
Buy armor.
Are you happy? Thank you. May I-
Mirror mail.
Looking for all
Outfitter.
by all means. Are you happy? May I come back?
Alright, let's get our equipment set up.
Very well.
We still need the barrette. We need... Yep. We can actually just leave this exactly as it is.
To battle.
We'll lose a little bit of damage on Dice Dark, but that's not the worst. Zalbag cooperates. We could manage to still get him in 2 turns, but we'll have to see how that goes. Height 4. Holy go. Okay, Zalbag, deal damage. That's all you gotta do is deal damage. Thank you. All right, Space Goat time. Space Goat coast to coast. Height for gravity go. So the last time that we were here, Ramza missed gravity, and it made me very, very anxious. Because Bahamut just kind of eats her face. Four. Let's go. Now we turn on our equipment to Lambent, Wizard Robe, and Mage Power.
Very well.
Lambent, Mage... Not Mage, Wizard Robe. There's the Mage Power. They're not Mage Robes, they're Wizard Robes. Goodbye, Funeral. What were they thinking, naming that character Funeral in the original game? Seemed a little on the nose with the naming. We're gonna go over here.
No turning back.
CT3, holy go. Yeah, I'm not surprised that both of the Geomancers stayed up. Height 3, height 4, height 2, height priming? Wow, okay. You're attempting raise. How dare? I need to remind myself to not just stand there because that guy does have Hell Ivy. Or Tanglevines, whatever it's called now. It's definitely more Hell Ivy in this kind of a run than it is Tanglevines. We definitely will go to hell if it hits us. Okay, we're gonna focus on Clation for this one, so we're doing nothing but a level 4 Holy. Or
It's
2.
time.
Yeah, I'm on. Math for... Yep, Clation. Then we do it again. Now, an unexpected problem. The unexpected problem being, I was not prepared for this fight to force me to use Immobilize. That was a shock when that first happened, and I just started getting Almagested into oblivion by the Ultimate Demon. Never had this problem in the OG. This was a one-turn fight. Elevate. Go. Uh-oh. That's not good. Let's try it again. That's better. That's what we needed. Height for Holy. Height. Do the right thing. Thank you. Alright, Zalbag's down. We're in the final gauntlet. Don't need to change equipment until I get to Barrack. Fairly certain the answer on this one is CT4. So I know 3 was a little weird, and 5 doesn't hit everything. I'm fairly certain I remember this as a 4. CT4. Yes, I'm correct. Howdy, Doc. Welcome in. Sounds good. Alright, height prime. Height prime. Height prime. I love it when they make my job easy. Damn, this is starting to look spicy. Alright, we're getting a suit and tie stream coming up. Oh, maybe tomorrow? Tomorrow sounds good. Ramza gets uppies.
It's time.
Alright, we level 3. That's not level, that's height. Joffrey doesn't care about any of his friends doing haste and other similar things. And we don't care about them doing that either. Joffrey's down.
So it ends.
Alright. We have been on a fairly good clip. Things are getting pretty consistent. So I'm definitely feeling quite comfortable about how things are going. We don't have to worry about collation. I mean, we kind of do. We have to worry about the ninjas. Outside of that, just another level 3 holy or two and we're good. Ramza needs uppies. Goes over here. This will keep us out of direct contact with Collation and his shenanigans. We'll also provide mild protection from ninjas. One of the ninjas had Geomancy last time. Looks like we're good. Level 3 holy. Wow, we hit the jackpot on level 3s in this fight. Thank you very much, Shivas! We are almost through. We're almost to the reset line. Level 3, holy go. Isolation. Alright, Barrack 2. We're making some changes here. We are putting on the Mirror Mail and the Guardian Bracelet. Mirror Mail should protect us from Barrack's magic gun. And the Guardian Bracelet prevents him from being able to use aim arm and aim leg on us. Oh, really? I have made an error. Change formation and retry. Alright, so that doesn't matter then. If that's the case, then I'm just gonna go back to Crystal Mail, because I need to worry about whether or not I can survive.
To battle.
Lots of halitosis. With the Mirror Mail, I can't holy myself, so I might as well just not even worry about it if he's just gonna be that way. Level 5 holy, and that's the game. Ah, healing with 2 HP. I'm very upset. He lived with 2 HP and got 2 turns before I could finish him off. I took the Hermes boots so that way I could guarantee that I wasn't going to have any issues with him outspeeding me and just nuking me off the face of the planet. And that small little bout of magic attack that I didn't have made the difference. So we're gonna lose a couple seconds here. At least we now know mirror mail doesn't matter. Alright, reset line time. We are putting on Jade Armlet, Crystal Helm, Aegis Shield, and Excalibur. If everything goes correctly, the only thing that the reset line should do to us is Meteor. And the only thing we will be doing to him in return is Gravity. As long as we hit our X potions off the auto potion as well, we shouldn't have any problems with just ignoring him and using Gravity. It is level prime Gravity. Yep. Uh-oh. That's a problem. We're gonna go CT4... 5? 5. CT5 only. It's fine. This is why we have math. We take all the backups we need. Can I get some... Thank you. Some auto potion. Please, game, can I have some auto potion? As long as we're above 215, we don't care. Math, level prime, last gravity. There it is. Alright, the reset line is down. It's unfortunate that we missed the first one. Alright, now we have some problems. The problems being ultimate demons. Brett, we don't need a Jade Armlet. We're gonna go with the Hermes shoes. Crystal Mail is what we want. Yep.
It's time.
I'm not going to worry about the immobilization. I could have put the protection armlet on if I really wanted to. Not that concerned about it. All right. Level 3 immobilize. Perfect. And then we should no longer have to worry about that. Okay. Alma does her thing. We're gonna go level 4 gravity to get us out of... There it is. We're out of level 3 now. Level 3 flare. But she got back up. Should be able to use immobilize again next turn. 170. Alright, math. Level 3 immobilize. Please hit. I said please. Alright, CT5 holy, CT4 holy. That's all my guess. Yep. Unfortunate. All right, so we're gonna load 2 saves back. Yeah. That's the one that missed. Level 3 immobilize. And I missed again. Please heal. Thank you. Try again, this time with 100% less failure. Thank you. That's fine. We get a flare off. And then I just run another immobilize. Actually, level 3 flare. Level 3 flare again. Alright, and that last one shouldn't be a problem. No way. Yes way. Okay. That's fine, because we just reload and don't fail this time. Level 3 flare. As long as Ramza hits the X-Pot, we're fine. Yeah, we still got plenty of time, and Ramza just needs to not fail at life. You know what we could just do? Yeah. We're just gonna do this. That's why we did it. Didn't even matter. All right, so we have to hit the potion. It's unusual that we're getting such bad luck, though. Do that. What is going on? All right. I know for a fact we have the X potion still. We have not used 99 X potions, so this is what we're gonna do. Get an extra 10%. There we go. She crit. Of course she crit. Gonna go... Yep, sure, why not? If I don't move, I should go before that one does again. Level 3 flare go. That one should run away now, because Ultima should still... Yep, okay. Level 3 flare. Pike Prime Holy. At least we have this as a backup now. Elevation 3 gravity. Ramza, what are you doing? You're gonna be like this. Yep. Perfectly acceptable. Level 3, gravity go. Any hits? Level 3. Alright, we're gonna... Doing okay now. I had to say something. I had to say we were doing okay. Odd. He didn't go for the crystals. Uh-oh. Well, we're on 3s again. There's a reason why we keep the Aegis Shield, not just because of its MA. Oh, come on. There we go. Now we're into Bloody Angel. Worst thing that Bloody Angel can do to us is Divine Ultima. Level 4 gravity. Not level 4. It's level... I could have sworn it was not level 4 in this. No, it is level 4 because regular Ultima is 3, Blood Angel's 4. I also wasn't paying attention to my health. Yep, that was entirely my fault. CT4 holy, CT5 holy. Alright, so Divine Ultima is... Alright, we're gonna be funny now. That's the way Bloody Angel's gonna play. We're gonna be funny. Look who's not moving anymore. Alright, well. Just gotta get through the gravities. And then we're gonna do an immobilize to re-up it. And it missed. That's fine. That's not as fine as I thought it was going to be. Select CT 5 Holy. Yeah, the only way that I'm going to be able to fix that is if I change my zodiac sign, and if I change my zodiac sign, I have to be okay with making myself weaker for Elmdor, which I don't want to do. Not elevation level. Well, we're back on the threes. At least us being back on the threes makes healing easier. Gravity is perfectly fine. It's just that we are getting some less than stellar rolls. That was it. Holy crap. Yep, that's 245. Even with an incredibly disagreeable Ultima. Heck yeah. I'm actually really proud of this run because we were able to talk a lot about the philosophy of what it was that I was doing.
Oh, stones divine! I beseech you!
We were able to talk a lot about the philosophy of the run, why I was doing the things that I was doing. We got some scuffed things happening, and I was able to showcase this is what you do in case of shenanigans. And we still ended up with a 7-minute PB. Not bad. Really not bad. And Summer Best is now 2:22:22. So that's great. Fantastic run.
Given all that has come to pass, I fear we can.
I am very happy with this run, and I don't get to say that very often. I am actually very happy with this run.
Should we remain, we would only be hunted as heretics. So instead, let us take to the road.